95% of the people who go to prison will come home. And the folks that get let out have a significantly more difficult time getting a job, getting a place to live, and getting an education, and reconnecting with their families. Many doors are just plain closed to them. We have set up, I would argue, an almost impossible task for them. On the other hand, a lot of Minnesotans think that people who commit crimes should go to prison and never come home. And some of those folks work at the Capitol. I've been working with organizations in North Minneapolis that help people who are coming out of prison, Emerge and the Network, to name two. I co-authored the Ban the Box legislation that at least gets people in the door without having to check that little box saying, have you ever been convicted of a felony? At the county, I would make sure that the county is complying with that law. And I would also check into whether companies that do business with the county can be required to also get that box off their job applications. I have here in my hand a list. Prohibited occupations for persons convicted of a felony. It's 6 pages long. Some are kind of logical, professional peace officer, but some are just plain, dare I call it, silly. I certainly will call it damaging. Chiropractor, physician, licensed marriage and family therapist, occupational therapist, speech-language therapist, physical therapist, licensed alcohol and drug counselor. These are jobs that are, I would argue that people who maybe have gone through drug convictions and treatment maybe have some life experiences that can help another person. In my time at the Capitol, I helped to get a couple of these occupations off the list. A couple of them were barbers and cosmetology. 2 things that made no sense being on this list because we were teaching them in our prisons in Minnesota. Think about that. We teach people to be a barber and then we don't let them have a job when they come out. We have a lot of work to do. I'm not sure what role the county plays in it, but I'm ready to step up and continue my work on this issue.
While I was running for office here, there is a certain future state representative that had a compelling story that if I get elected, I will be working with that person quite a bit to see that this is a problem that we solve. Because, you know, just today while I was walking back home, a gentleman, African-American gentleman, came up to me and just basically said, what are you going to do as county commissioner for folks like me who have felony conviction and can't find work because nobody will hire me? And we have a system that sets folks like that up to fail. And we are not going to get any better by just having those 6 pages. And we have to really consider what's good and what's not good. And I think as a county board, we need to really consider what we need to do so that the folks coming out of our prisons can actually go to work, and that our probation system that's watching out for these folks are doing their best to supervise, but also doing their best to advocate for each of the folks that come out so that they can find gainful employment. Because at the heart of it, if we don't provide gainful employment for these folks, what are they going to do? Commit the crimes and go back. And as a community, we don't want any more crimes. We want to do everything we can to facilitate a good life for people who want to live in North Minneapolis and who want to contribute to North Minneapolis. And so I think that's really important that we work on this issue. But a certain representative, I won't name the person's name, needs to work on this, and I would work really hard with that person. Thank you.
Thank you. So they went through the 6 questions that were prepared in advance, and